and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Today is our annual WYMT Winter Blood Drive with the Kentucky Blood Center. The drive kicked off around 3 o'clock this afternoon. WYMT's Amelia Lee is live outside the Bloodmobile right now to give us a look at this blood drive. And Amelia, how's it going?
Steve, it is going great here at this blood drive. I just want to first say thank you to all the donors who have come out today, especially braving all of this winter weather. If you look behind me, you can see the Bloodmobile. There's people who just walked in to go ahead and donate blood. A reminder, they will be open from 3 until 7 this evening. And officials say that there is a blood shortage going on right now due to some of that winter weather we've had recently. So they're continuing to encourage you to come out to give blood during this WYMT blood drive. And I've talked to staff. They take great care of you. They are very excited to have you come on in to give some blood, donate blood, and save a life while you're at it. And an additive incentive that I just really want to stress right now is this new crew neck. I mean, let me back up so you can take a look at this crew neck. It says, drop it like it's hot. Very cute. We love it. So if you come on down until 7 o'clock, you can get one of these crew necks if you do donate blood. In Perry County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Amelia, thank you very much. We'll check in back with you at 6 o'clock. The blood drive continues until 7 o'clock tonight, and I was happy to see so many people waiting for the Bloodmobile to get here this afternoon, so I believe it's going to be a successful blood drive, but again, there's still time to get out. We want to thank everyone that's donated already. This is the first blood drive I can remember here at the station with some snow on the ground. And more cold weather and more snow is on the way. Meteorologist Eric Dean is monitoring the latest on this first alert weather day. Eric?
That's right, Steve. As advertised yesterday, we had the snow push through. We had temperatures today in the 20s. And as mentioned in the tease, consider this as like the precursor to Friday and Saturday. Here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. You can see that snow pushing through portions of eastern Kentucky. We'll go ahead and pinpoint some locations over towards Paintsville, Jackson, Pikeville seeing some snow, Hazard seeing some snow at this time. Same story towards the Oneida area. Manchester seeing a little bit of light snow. Harlan seeing some light snow at this time. Now, winter weather advisory is in effect, but there is a caveat to this graphic. It says midnight on the graphic. I just got the conference call with the National Weather Service office. Some of this will be allowed to expire at 7 o'clock this evening. Others will last until midnight, especially over towards Pike, Perry, Knott, Floyd, Letcher. Johnson County will stay in it until midnight. So as we go throughout the next several hours, make sure you have the free WYMT First Alert Weather app on your device to receive the latest information for your area, especially as we go throughout the next several days where we have the chilly weather in play. Then we have Friday and Saturday's snow event. There's a look at Buffalo Mountain right now. It is beautiful up on top of the mountain with all that snow on the grassy surfaces there. It's just a gorgeous shot there. Temperatures right now are still in the teens and 20s. We're at 21 in Hazard, 20 Jackson, 23 in Boonville, 23 in London. Now we have to keep an eye on Friday and Saturday. Details on that in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Hopefully we can get a little sunshine tomorrow before that next winter storm. Eric, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers are advancing a bill that could result in more take-home money for most workers in the state next year. The individual income tax rate could be lowered to 3.5% if a bill passes the General Assembly this year. The income tax rate used to be 5%. Now that bill passed its first test this morning. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what exactly the bill will do.
House come to order, members.
House Bill 1 would further reduce the state income tax by 0.5% next January, since economic factors were recently met.
To make sure that we're methodically proceeding rather than doing so too abruptly.
The end goal is to eventually do away with the entire individual state income tax, but lawmakers say they're doing it a little at a time, and their formula does not call for increases in sales or other taxes.
We've not done that heretofore. That's not in the way we're projecting things out. This is more of a budget that leads the conversation, not a tax increase that leads the conversation.
Kentucky state income tax is currently at 4%, down a full percentage point from what it used to be at 5%. Economic triggers were met for 2 increments of 0.5% over a 2-year period, but those economic triggers were not met for it to be lowered this year. The bill easily passed the House Budget Committee with 17 yes votes, but 3 chose to pass.
I don't see any reason to vote no on this bill yet, other than not really being 100% agreement in this entire model of going to where we're going.
Some economic groups have voiced concern that Kentucky will face challenges with permanent tax cuts.
Before these cuts began, the income tax generated 40% of general fund revenue, and with this cut, it will have been reduced by 30%.
Governor Beshear has expressed concern over doing away with the state income tax, but has indicated that he would likely support this cut. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
There are 9 states with no state income tax, including Arizona, Florida, our neighbors in Tennessee, and Texas. Some of those states do have a higher sales tax than Kentucky. In about 1.5 hours, the governor will deliver his annual State of the Commonwealth address. It begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can watch it on KET. Governor Beshear will give his address in a joint session with the State Senate and House of Representatives. We'll have some of the highlights of the governor's speech tonight at 11. President-elect Donald Trump wants the U.S. Supreme Court to pause Friday's sentencing in his hush money case. The emergency appeal came one day after a New York State appeals court denied Trump's request to have it postponed. Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records over reimbursements to his lawyer, who paid an adult film star to keep her reported affair with Trump a secret. Trump denies the affair. President-elect Trump's threat to turn Greenland into U.S. territory is making some big waves. The Arctic island has been part of Denmark for 600 years, and European leaders are warning Trump against threatening its sovereign borders. Trump said yesterday he would not rule out using military or economic action against Denmark to make Greenland part of the United States, saying it's critical to America's national security. Many are calling it a crazy idea.
Extremely ridiculous. Like, if he wanted something from Greenland, or we have an alliance, we are allies. So this doesn't really respect that.
Greenland's prime minister, who supports future independence from Denmark, spoke with the Danish king in Copenhagen today. Former President Jimmy Carter continues to lie in state on Capitol Hill in Washington. One woman paying her respects was an employee of the Carter Center for nearly 3 decades. She says Carter's legacy is one of compassion. The observances honoring the former president will conclude tomorrow morning with a state funeral at the National Cathedral, which you can see live on WYMT. That's before he is laid to rest after his funeral in Georgia. President Joe Biden declared tomorrow as a day of mourning following the former president's death. As a result of this designation, the U.S. Postal Service will not deliver mail. The U.S. Supreme Court, stock market, and government offices will also be closed. President Biden is expected to deliver a eulogy at Carter's funeral, and President-elect Donald Trump says he will also attend the service. In fact, all living former presidents are expected to attend. Coming up on Mountain News at